Alrighty, folks. What are we doing today? We're doing some pinball stuff. Some more. We're slowly gonna progress through this table here. What is the plan? Today, I'm not gonna do too much. My goal here is I would like to get the legs on the table and the bottom in here. I'd like to put the screen in, but like the TV in there, but I think I have to get a dowel pin or something because I do want to have it like sit on this machine is like pretty hard to take apart. I gotta basically undo these screws. I gotta undo these. I gotta do a bunch of that. Whereas a normal table, you would have your lockdown bar, and you kind of like would do this. This would come off, the glass would come out, and then the table kind of just lifts up. It's not very often I have to go underneath there, but anyways, I want to make this one easier, but I'm not sure how far or how well it'll work because. Well, I don't know how the screen's going to go because the screen is kind of wide. So, I don't know. The goal is I want the screen to be able to lift up, but I need a few bits to do that. So, first things first, I think all I'm going to do is try to machine out this thing because this one I just have it bolted to the bottom, but I think it's just a nicer look because you can see the wood here. I guess if I had a graphic on it, you wouldn't see it, but, you know, the real deal way is they'd actually have this milled out and you'd have your bottoms just slides in. So I have some 1/2 inch here, so we're going to just use that for the bottom. And I have that's to build the back box and stuff, but not now. So this one I want to trim up. We'll use it for the bottom. I think I'll have some left over. It'll be like the back cover for the back glass thing after the fact and all that jazz. But yeah, like I said, first things first, I'm gonna tear this apart. We are somewhere here. I have my router and we're gonna just like basically drop this on a table. We're gonna router that out. I'm gonna figure a way to cut this thing nicely and so we can slide in the bottom, and then I'll dig around, or actually I think everything's all together here. I think the next plan will be that we're basically going to start drilling holes and doing these side rails inside, or whatever these are. I don't have them on this box, but I don't know. This one I just have all the real deal parts, so we're going to try to adapt these into there. That's the plan. All right. First thing I'm going to do is actually pull this all apart because I need it in smaller pieces. Let's put it that way. So let's get that going. I have to label this. If I don't label this, I'm going to screw this up somehow. Perfect. Okay. Cool. Just had to measure it, make sure I only have the one router bit, so, and it's just a hair over 1/2 inch, so should be fine. So now we're just gonna build up our bottom, or we're gonna trace this out, like, try to make some straight lines. That's what we're gonna do. I am very much not comfortable working with wood because I don't know, I'm not very good at it. And the room of error, I can't fix it when it screws up. So that's the bigger thing that I have with this. If I do 1/2 inch. So I'm gonna mark it. I'll go 1/2 inch off the bottom, whatever my router bit's gonna do. Hopefully that makes sense. I will measure this thing to the bottom, and with any hopes, 3 3/4, everything stays the same throughout, and I have no grief. Measure 1,000,000 times, cut once. These have to be relatively straight because, well, I want the board just to fit and not everything else get all screwy on me. All right, let's clamp this, test run, Let's see what happens. All right. Repeat on that one. Well, it is a little big, but there's room for error. All right. Now we got to figure out our noose measurement here, and then we'll cut the bottom, and then we can bolt it all or screw it all back together, and we can try to figure out our legs. All right. Got our measurements. Let's switch this around, cut this out. 23.5 by 50 3/4, and we should have a perfect piece of wood that fits in here, to which eventually I'm going to glue it. Look at that, instead of sticking screws and everything. Right on. Well, I managed the cut, but I'm a little bit off. And I feel it's going to be a problem. So I just got to sand this down, because I've made a cut to it's on the bigger side, which is cool. So I can fix that. So I'm just going to get a sander, and I'm just going to sand this down a little bit, or a grinder or something. All right, folks, let's put this back together now and see if I did this right. All right, I'm gonna drop this on the floor because we're gonna try to put this back together. Hopefully it all fits. Oh, you know what, I'm gonna do 2 sides first. 2, 3 sides, because I can then slide this board in. Oh my goodness, I've already screwed up. Golly. Why? That looked right. Well, it shouldn't really matter. Does that matter? I think I have to cut some of that out anyways. Well, we'll try. We'll see what happens here. That's going to be covered by my legs, so that shouldn't be a problem. Hopefully the screws, oh, the screws don't line up. All right, I got to pre-drill these, because we're trying to fix my bobo. Like, the back seems good. Oh, I'm a terrible carpenter. Oh well. We'll see what we can do here. If we can fix this. Well, it's a little weird. The front is like way more loose than the back. I think it's because this doesn't quite, it's just a hair bit different. Like, outside measurement is 25, and we got, they're the same. So it's like my bottom's out. Kind of weird. I mean, I have enough to cut another one, and I think that won't affect other things that I'm going to do. So, well, I have the wood. I may as well use it, right? Very, very random. I'll be able to trim this up maybe and use it as my back base for my flip for my TV screen, but yeah, I don't really know what I did wrong here. I think the bottom is slightly, I don't know, something's different. I'm not a carpenter, so I try to make things work the way I think they should, but it would have been so much nicer if I knew how to do this miter thing, and I don't, so that's kind of my problem. I should have maybe just kept them square, like I did that cabinet, and then hope that the graphics cover it, but whatever. I was trying to make it nicer, and it didn't quite work out. So, we're going to use that as my template, and then we're just going to modify things to work. Not the end of the world. All right, so I will just quickly cut that one. I'm going to revisit or do that, put that in here, and well, I don't know. Then we'll be right back to where we're at. Oh man. And then I'm going to have to route her out because that TV screen is way too wide for this. Like I'm going to need to get another router bit. We're going to have to like just chew away at all this. My plan is to keep it pretty close to the glass up here. I might go down maybe an inch or something, but I want this to run down, and then whatever that LCD board that I have, I want it to be, I think it's about 3 inches down is what my screen's going to go. And then I got this LCD thing that's going to sit in here. That's the plan. And then we can have our back box. We'll sit up here and do all that jazz. Anyways, I'll redo that board so it sits a little more snug. And then these are goofy, but I don't know. I'm going to build some sides or something to cover up this ugly thing that I just did on here and to protect the corners. That's what I'm going to do. We're going to protect the corners. Okay, I'll measure this up and we'll just get this done here. Well, I trimmed, I fit, and we're still out. Me and wood don't get along well. Anyways, we're a hair bit out. I don't know if you can actually see. There's a little bit of gappage in there. We'll be able to like find a happy medium between the front and back. Kind of got my lock bar just sitting on there. Nothing's permanent with it yet. Just realizing we're gonna have to cut the door so I can actually mount it, because this thing is what it's supposed to be. But anyways, on the 3/4 inch, it looks like, because now we're sitting nice and snug up here once I've trimmed all, or basically I ground and rounded the corners a little bit. So once I did that, it's actually fitting pretty good. But like I say, this bar here, I'm thinking it has to go into the coin door opening, so I won't play with it for now. We just got that. Box is kind of like, everything is cool where it's supposed to be. Next step is, well, some things went out, like we have here, the bottom, we kind of end up pulling the screw out, so I got one here. Like I said, I plan to try to make a strip. I guess in the end, the corners on these things always get banged up, normally, I guess. I don't know. But I'll try to make like a nice little stainless strip to put on there to just finish it up. It'll end up tying in behind the legs, and I don't know what, but something on top. And hopefully I'll make it just big enough to cover up the screw holes, but it won't affect any kind of graphic or things I do on there. At least that's the plan. Okay, so I gotta go pull up my plans, and we're gonna see where they recommend that I actually put the legs. So the plan is to put this all together, get the, well, not right now, but I'll get the screen kind of sorted out where it's supposed to go, and then we can kind of figure out the back box and a few things like that. So, but for now, let's just get the legs on there, and so we can stand on the ground looking like a pinball machine, kinda. Okay, so off that website, we got our little drawings that are going to show us where we are supposed to do these holes. According to this is only 2 inches off the bottom of the cabinet, and then 2 1/4. So 2 inch ends up exactly where my screw is,
Perfect. Perfect. So that's easy. All right, I'll take that screw out and I'm gonna move it here in a second, but from the bottom of the cabinet, 2 inch is right there, and then it's saying 2 1/4 is the upper hole. What? Oh, from this hole, this would be 2 1/4. So, we happen to have a leg here, so we're just gonna hold that up there and see how that looks. Yes, very much so. Very much so. All right, I'm gonna move this screw to lower, I guess, and I'm gonna proceed to drill these 2 holes, and then we have a panel to go inside, and I have to somehow make a wedge to hold everything together yet, but first things first, we'll do that one, and I'll do the front. I'll mark it up too. The front's supposed to be 4 inches to the first hole, so I'll do that right away. Get them all marked, so I bet you I got screws in the way of everywhere here, so this one, 2 inch, ooh, just misses that one. But we'll move all the screws. We're gonna have to. And our legs are adjustable, so it's not the end of the world. Four inch in the front. All right, so we'll have this plate that's going to go on the inside. So I'm just going to snug it together, and then I can screw this, and that'll be just something extra holding everything together here. If I did it right. Looks right. I'm going to have to make a wedge inside yet. But that's looking good. Definitely everything needs some cleaning up here, but just trying to get the feels for everything. Size are these, 5/8. Snug it just a little bit. I'm not gonna go too nuts. I almost want to go nuts. It's kind of snugging up my cabinet, making it nice. Alrighty, legs are on, and now we sit. That thing definitely feels bigger than my other one, but hey, it is what it is. Pretty cool, pretty cool. So it's standing, comparison, feels bigger, but whatever, is what it is. We have this in. Those are in. So there's like a wedge that should go in there. I don't know if I actually need it once I screw these plates in, but I'm gonna have to get some smaller screws because all my screws are too big. So we'll get some of those, get those screwed in. But for now, it's doing the part. It's way up there. I'm gonna like lower it down probably, but this is pretty good. I'm gonna copy where my buttons are on this one. The plans that they have online. Again, I'm going to find out where I have this site. I'm going to piggyback it here, but anyways, that's where I got all the drawings to build this. Again, you can buy a flat pack. They call it a flat pack. I don't really know what it costs. I think it's like between what kind of box or what you want. It'll have a one done with these holes, this, like all the stuff in the front's done, the buttons, you know, fan holes, all this stuff would be pre-done, but it's also $700-800 versus
I'm gonna have the table itself, like wood wise, I'll probably be able to build the whole thing for about $250. So, and I don't mind doing this. It's kind of fun, even though I'm terrible at it. But hey, nobody will notice except for you, me. Anyways, yes. So next step I want to do is I have this coin door. So I have measurements for like this particular style of a coin door, which is online. So these are what it is. So basically from dead center, we're just going to go, I don't even know what it is. It's one of these, I think it's 12 1/4 is what it wants. The door itself is 12-inch. So I'm going to figure out this thing centered. Okay, so this is going to be, what do we got on there? I only got 4 holes. This is showing me more holes than what I got. Anyways, oh, these are going to be the holes for, this one's for the coin door. I don't know if you can see on here. This is the coin door, and these are actually the ones for the lockdown bar, but that's okay. I'm not worried about those right now. We're just going to cut out this door and then possibly the buttons. I don't know if I'll do all the buttons, but because we're going to do on there, we always have a bunch of buttons. I have an extra one on here, but usually it'd be like one would start the game, one like brings up a menu, or one exits the game, and another one might be rules or something like that. I want to do some modifications on here, so these coin buttons, when I push them, it actually puts quarters in instead of actually putting quarters. So I plan to do that. I'll do one that'll do quarters, and the other one would be like for games that have a buy-in, like if you want to buy an extra ball, I'll just have a button to do that. Anyways, for right now, I'm just going to give her here, and we're going to cut this opening, and I'm going to bolt that door in, and like I say, possibly drill the holes. But yeah, these I have the buttons for, so I'll get that kind of set up. My plan is basically to get the whole table kind of together before I start laying out some electronics and stuff in it, but I want to get things laid out where I want stuff, and then we'll blow it apart, we'll put some paint on it, glue everything I can glue, things like that. Anyways, let's cut a big hole in here. All right, well, with the coin door in place, hopefully I can do this part. Oh, that's so close, eh? I don't know that I want it, well, maybe. I guess this thing's not like it has to hunker it down. I guess when you open this door now, then I can go in here and I can pull this, unlock this thing. To establish where this has to go. These look pretty good right there though. We'll put some small screws in there. Well now, these are the last 2 screws I have like this. Mint. So it sits there. Open the door. Bada bing, you can take that off. Sits there. Lock it in place. Very cool. All right, onward with some buttons. I don't know how to do the plunger just yet. I mean, I guess we're just doing traditional pinball machine. That's what we're shooting for. All right, well, I have all the measurements, so we'll just go with those and keep going forward here.
All right, one down. Now we gotta do holes on that side. I don't know if I'm gonna do the launch button yet because I want to see if I can modify my thing to push on it to actually launch a ball, but technically this is the thing for there. And then here's telling me where I do all the stuff. We'll go with the norm. 2 1/8. 2 1/8. That one's gonna change. That one's not gonna work out because I have a bigger launch button I want to use. So anyways, let's get this all sorted out. All right, survey says, oh, we were so close. A little bit of fine tuning. Not sure if I need a little tweak in there. Mint. See, and then I want a big launch button. I was just going to put one there. If you're playing, that would launch. So that's where I feel this is going to come in. It's right about there. Survey says, once I figure to get this off. Big old launch ball right there, eh? All right. Well, I think that's as much as I'm going to get done today, but I'm pretty happy with the outcome. Look at that. That looks the part, eh? So, I drilled these other ones. I have these and I might countersink them. Well, I have this one. I'd like to get more like the real pinball buttons, I think, for the front. I think would be pretty cool. I need to have a start and an exit button anyways. I don't know. The middle one doesn't really matter to me. Because you have this one, and this is like a launch button, like traditional dealio. And then we'll have, you know, where our plunger dealio is going to be. Got our door. And our lock bar is actually mounted on here, so that's pretty great too. Yeah. Just got to get a bunch of hardware. I need some more screws and things like that. The goal is kind of want to loosely set things up. I didn't drill these holes yet because I've ordered different buttons than the style that came with that Cleveland one. Because you have this one. Well, he actually sells, I looked at his site, and he actually sells buttons like this with what's called leaf switches. They're just like points almost, like a physical connection. I've noticed on here, like we bashed the button so hard that we've actually like worn out the switches inside. They have like little, I don't even know what the heck they are. I don't have one to show you, but we have worn them out. So I'm on the traditional, like on the real pinball machines, they have just like a little, it's called a leaf switch, and it just contacts the points. So I don't know the size of the button and stuff like that. So I'm gonna wait. I've ordered it, but UPS is closed right now, so I can't go get it. I have some parts and stuff sitting over there. So yeah, I'm not gonna touch any of that till that comes. But basically the game plan is gonna be take a lot of the stuff, find a home for everything, and then once I know where everything's got to go, I can take it apart and we work from there. I'd like to really next time is try to get this TV screen in, because I think it's going to involve a lot of routering, because that TV screen I'm going to have to take away about like this much material to get that thing to fit in there. And then in the big picture I wanted to I got side rails that go on, but I'd like to have like a little 3/4 inch chunk of wood so I can do like an LED light strip going up each side. So that thing would kind of make up some of the goofiness, I think. I don't know. Kind of in my head. We'll see what happens when I get there, but yeah, I don't know. Hey, it's standing on its own legs, so that's pretty good. Right, buddy? How's that, eh? How's that, eh?
anyways, like I said, I think that is where I'm going to leave it. It's a working project, and this is just something I'm piddling on, you know, a little half a day here and whatever. The goal is I want to fix that one all up, and then we'll probably, got a buddy or somebody will probably grab that one off of me, so we'll replace it with the one that's going to have way more bells and whistles, and it's going to look the part. It's going to be perfect. Anyways, as always, folks, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Later.
Ready, bud?